Welcome back, everybody, to BASF at K22. Welcome back to our plastics journey and to our next creator talk for today. And I'm very happy that I have three experts with me on stage. Maria Klein from BASF's engagement within the Alliance to End Plastics Waste, Justin Wood from the Alliance to End Plastics Waste, and Adrian Vogel from our, you don't call yourself startup anymore, right?
Oh, it's a grown startup.
Grown startup, young grown-up.
Young grown-up.
trinamiX, definitely.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about how innovative technology is making sorting in very remote areas much easier. I start with you, Maria. BASF is addressing a number of challenges when it comes to work with plastics waste. One is also our engagement within the Alliance to End Plastics Waste. Tell us more about that.
Thank you. Yes, so here at K you can get an impression how much BASF is working on sustainable solutions, right? So, for example, take our camp cycling projects. We are working together with other technology partners to improve the circularity of plastics. And this shows that when it comes to plastic waste, we need joint efforts from the whole plastic value chain. And this includes the plastic producers, the retailers, the recyclers, the consumers, and many, many others. And this is why BASF co-founded the Alliance to End Plastic Waste in 2019, with the vision that we want to show solution models that others can de-risk and also replicate and scale.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, and next to also strong partnerships, like the Alliance has, we need innovative technologies. And for example, trinamiX, they Adrian will explain a little bit more, but I can tell you that trinamiX developed really innovative mobile near-infrared spectroscopy solution with technology that they put in a handheld device. And this, we thought, okay, that might make sense to bring both of them together, right? The Alliance and trinamiX, really to improve plastic sorting in areas with no proper waste management in place. So that's why I'm really grateful to have actually Justin from the Alliance here and also Adrian, who can explain a little bit more what is the Alliance doing and what are the plans with trinamiX.
Perfect, Justin. Have you been with the Alliance to End Plastic Waste from the very beginning? And if not, what's the journey been so far? How much progress are you making? And what areas are you focusing on?
I joined the Alliance in April 2020, which was about a year after it was launched. But still very much at the beginning of our journey. And over those past 2.5 years, the Alliance has really set itself up from being a startup to an established organization. We, as Maria said, we represent the full plastic value chain, from the resin producers like BASF, the brand owners like PepsiCo and Procter & Gamble, converters like Amcor, and the waste managers like Veolia. So we're a community. As you can see, we've grown from 27 founding companies to 73 today. And we are very much focused on action. There are a lot of organizations focused on plastic waste, all doing great work, but a lot of them are focused on thought leadership and policy development and helping companies to make pledges and commitments. But the Alliance is a little bit different. We have been set up to raise significant capital. We've now raised $1.2 billion, and we're deploying that capital into projects all around the world to try to demonstrate new ideas for tackling this plastic waste challenge. Just to sort of reinforce, we do face an environmental challenge with plastic waste. We know that we already have a problem, and that unless we do anything, this problem is going to get worse. So it's a challenge we have to address, but it's also an economic opportunity because there is significant value in plastic waste. Currently, we're losing that value from our economies every year. And the Alliance is really set up to try to create viable economic solutions that not only solve the problem, but also unlock that economic opportunity. So we're very focused on projects. We have 50 projects now around the world. And each of those projects is trying to do something new, demonstrate a new business model, a new technology, a new idea that can help to solve this plastic waste challenge and create economic opportunity from doing so. And a lot of our projects are about collecting plastic waste, but also we're doing a lot on sorting plastic waste and recycling. And in some of those projects, we're using this trinamiX technology. And I wanted to, if I can, to end with just a couple of examples of how we're using trinamiX to help our projects be more effective. Our projects are around the globe. We have projects here in Europe and North America and Japan, but a lot of our projects are also in the frontier markets, the emerging economies, where the plastic waste challenge is particularly serious. Many of these communities do not yet have any formal waste collection. So in these emerging markets, a lot of what the Alliance is doing is about designing and building waste collection for the very first time. A couple of examples that you can see here. In Thailand, we have a project in the region called Rayong. And there's a village there where we've been working with to develop a world-class waste collection and recycling system. It's a very small village, only a couple of thousand people, but we've significantly reduced their plastic waste. They were previously sending 60 tons a year to landfill. Now they're only sending 4 tons a year to landfill. So that's sort of proving how to do it at a village level. Now we're scaling it up to 60 more villages across the region. And we're using this trinamiX technology, which is a near-infrared spectroscopy. So it's a device, Adrian will tell you more about it, but it helps you to identify what the plastic is. And normally this technology is only available to very large laboratories and in very expensive ways. But this is a way to make it very affordable and very accessible to these communities on the front line of the plastic waste challenge. So we're using it in this Thailand project to help those communities identify the types of plastic that they're processing, and then to be able to sort it much more highly so that we get good quality, clean waste streams that can then be recycled. I'm sure many of you are aware that recycling only works when you've got very well-sorted waste. So we need these communities to be able to identify the waste, to sort it properly, and then you get clean bales of waste that can be recycled much more effectively. So we're doing it in Thailand. We're also doing it in a project in India called Nirmal. It's in a place called Agra. Many of you are probably familiar with this. It's where we have the Taj Mahal and many other important tourist sites. They have a terrible waste plastic problem. And so we are working with that community to design a waste management system, all of the transport, the logistics, the waste processing centers, to really clean up the city and then support their tourist economy. And again, we're using this trinamiX technology to help those workers understand the different types of plastic, to identify it, and to separate it and sort it so that we get very high-quality waste streams that can then be recycled much more effectively. So for us, this is a way to bring world-class technology in a very affordable way to the front lines of this challenge. And for us, it's a very valuable tool.
So, Adrian, tell us how it actually works.
Yeah, well, it's just like, thank you for the introduction. It's hard to add something to that, but let me simply explain first a little bit about trinamiX and the connection to BASF. So trinamiX is a 100% subsidiary of BASF, and we are that because we are highly innovative and create something that hasn't done before. So what you see here is what we all are talking about today is our mobile NIR spectrometer. It's basically a lab that fits in your pocket, and the way it works is at the push of a button, you send out light. The light is being reflected by the object that you measure, and then you get a result on your smartphone. And that's how it actually works. As you said, as soon as somebody doesn't know what type of plastic it is, it's really hard to figure out how to recycle it. So any idea what this might be? It could be anything, right? So the way it works is, can you show, just hold up the phone, right? So the way it works is you hold it in front of the sensor, push a button, scan it, and you'll see the result on the smartphone.
PBT.
PBT.
That's
PBT.
PBT, yeah.
And it is PBT.
And it is PBT, you know that, and as a matter of fact, BASF is a supplier of that material.
Yeah.
But the fun fact is that most people that do manual sorting would take it as a PP and put it into the PP bale where it simply doesn't belong. So as you've seen, it's a mobile device. You can carry it around. That's what's making it so handy. But it's also cloud-based. So it's always connected to a smartphone, to the internet. And this is where we actually have our database consisting, we're differentiating between 30 different types of plastics. Amongst it is a differentiation between PA6 and 6,6, between PET-A and PET-G, and all the technical plastics. So I would say it's a complete list of plastic types that we have there. And on top of that, we also have a solution to verify the sortability of plastic packaging.
Okay.
So as you've been saying, there's plenty of post-consumer plastic waste sorting lines, obviously fully automated. They use the same technology, but super sophisticated camera systems, and they need to be able to identify the right plastic. And sometimes the design of a packaging simply does not enable this. And we are now able to test it so that the designers can design for recycling and make sure it can be properly sorted and therefore properly recycled.
And Justin just mentioned that normally this type of device comes also at a price, is available only to larger lab-scale facilities. How did the cooperation come into being? Like, how did you come up with the idea? Who was it in the first place to say, okay, we're going to give that to the Alliance to help solve these problems in the areas that you were just talking about?
Oh, wow. Well, the story of trinamiX in the plastics industry actually started here at K during the last K show.
Okay.
Where I went. So I already knew we're going to build something like this, and I came here to find a business potential for us. And so we developed the first version, and I invited the former colleague from Maria to help me shoot a video and demonstrate it. And that's where the connection actually started between trinamiX and the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. Since then, they did a great consultancy work and helped us adjust our solution. And actually, this is what we want to continue. So as you see, this device is currently being used by plastic recyclers, mostly in developed countries, in industrial countries, to sort post-industrial plastic waste, just like this chair. If you want to know what type of plastic this chair is before you recycle it, make a quick scan. And then you'll know, okay, it's actually not PP or HDPE, it's actually PA6.
Yeah.
Just go back on the button here.
But made from chemically recycled.
So, yeah, exactly. And that's the point. Now BASF can chemically recycle that.
Yeah.
So it's actually a perfect example here. Now, what we want to do, and as I said, trinamiX is the owner of this technology. We developed the detectors that are inside. We know the database. We created the algorithms, the app, and everything. trinamiX owns the technology, and we have a clear path to further miniaturization. So the end boss will be to fully integrate that technology into a smartphone. But the next generation will become even smaller and leaner. And the idea of that is to bring that into the developing countries, as you see here.
Yeah.
So the Alliance, BASF and us, have launched a plastic waste challenge, which means that we offer 1 unit per organization in these areas that currently have no access to sorting technology at all. So everyone is invited to spread the news. So you have to apply for one of our units. We have 50 units available.
Okay.
We'll choose them wisely. And the idea of that entire process is to get a good understanding of these organizations, how they want to create value, what do they do, so all of us will learn a great deal out of it. And it also will help us to further adapt our solution to their needs.
So once again, do not only join our plastics journey, but specifically join the plastics challenge here. Adrian can tell you all about that. We have a bit more time left. Justin, I want to talk to you about what's the path forward for the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. You mentioned some example where you are expanding, but what's the long-term strategy, apart from ending plastic waste?
Well, that of course is the goal.
Yeah.
The plastic waste, the scale of the challenge is very large. And we ourselves have raised significant money. We've raised $1.2 billion, and we're investing this into all sorts of different projects. But even though we have a lot of money, that is tiny compared to how much money it's going to take to really build a circular economy and get on top of this. So our goal is not to solve the problem single-handedly ourselves. Our goal is really to identify the most exciting, high-quality, good impactful projects that can solve this. So we're a charity. We're not trying to make a financial return. But if we can show this business model works, this technology works, this idea, this solution works, then we can create a set of solutions, a set of models that we can share with the world and other people can scale them and replicate them. So our goal really is to be a laboratory for new ideas to solve plastic waste. And when we discover really good ones that work well, we then share them to be scaled and replicated by other people.
Yep.
So that's our goal, is to really identify these solutions and then share them as widely as possible.
Yeah, that's a surrounding BASF feels familiar with, yeah, a laboratory. That's probably also why we're in, right?
Yes, yeah, we're quite happy with the alliance, and we can see finally the projects showing impact. It takes time. That's I think the main message, that such projects take time. You can see in remote areas where the alliance is operating, it's not easy, and we're now seeing finally results, and we're quite happy about it.
Step by step and as fast as we can. That's the plastics journey. Justin, Maria, Adrian, thank you very much for this conversation. You'll be around for some more time for questions and answers. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
BASF. We create chemistry.